Hey, this is Miriam. Since I like to travel so much, people that I know will ask me questions about travel, and I have one here that I thought I would share with you. I'm going to go ahead and read it. It says, I want to find a company where I can buy tickets to go to Nicaragua next Christmas, but I want to make payments all year long. And so she asked me, what do I suggest? My first advice to her was there is some options, but before my first advice was to start to put the money away every month. That's kind of the way I prefer to travel. Have a plan, have a budget in place. So more or less get familiar with the place you're traveling, look around, spend some time on some of the websites, and I can give you some websites on my blog that you can kind of look and just price check. And then once you know more or less the window up and down, a couple $100 every month, have a little discipline for however long your budget's going to be and kind of put that aside. And then when the sales come, and you could watch out for some fare alerts. And when those fare alerts come and you can see a really good price, then jump on it with the money you already have. So that would be my first recommendation. But there are a couple options now available for individuals who don't want to do that pay ahead and they don't want to pay on a credit card. There are two options. One of them is through Cheap Air, and they sign up with a program called Affirm. And what they do is they offer, as part of the payment, when you go through cheapair.com and you purchase whatever flight, there's an option in the bottom, other than credit card, to purchase it in payment plans. And they offer 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, I believe, and 12 months. Let me just double check, as my camera falls, to make sure that they offer the 9 months, because I'm lying. It's 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months. But what they do is there's a minimum purchase of $100 required per ticket, and there is a 10% to 30% fee on top of that. They do check the credit. So there's a little mini credit check there, but it doesn't necessarily bring down your credit when they look at it. But if you don't make the payments, they do put it against your credit. It's an option if you don't have a credit card, if you don't want to save, or if it's something that it's an emergency and you need to fly. There's a death in the family or somebody's sick and you need to go. The good thing about this is with Cheap Air, you can, as soon as it's approved, you can fly. So it says fly today, pay later. I don't encourage people get into debt, but I know that sometimes things happen, and if you don't have the other options, this is a really good payment plan. Let me make sure there's not necessarily a limit in the amount of tickets. So again, if there's a family emergency and there's a couple of you need to fly, as long as you are approved by credit, there could be several flights. The second option that's available now is Airfare, and that's also a website. It's a little bit different. Their minimum purchase is $200. And their payment plans are every 2 weeks. So you make bi-weekly payments. And you actually have to pay off the airline ticket before you fly. So that's a little bit better because you won't go in debt. And I would recommend that for, like, if you're going to Nicaragua, you have a place that's not necessarily an emergency, but just something you want to travel, and you don't trust yourself putting away the money in your bank account. You think you're going to use it up on going out or whatever. If you want to go ahead and do the payment plan, there is a 10 to 20% one-time fee, so you're still going to pay more. And that's the thing, I don't ever recommend anything you can pay more. I like to pay the least amount possible, but it's an option and it's out there. They don't check your credit, and I was just looking at my notes to make sure there's no credit check. It's either one is not a revolving with a Cheap Air or Airfare. They're not a revolving, so it's not like a credit card account. Once you paid it off, it's over, and you have to reapply if you want a new one, or a new purchase, I should say. And then it says here, the good thing about Airfare, you can buy on anywhere. So if you see it on Google or Priceline or Orbitz, or even the direct website from the particular airline you want to fly, you just take a screenshot of it, then you go to Airfare, you upload that, fill out a little form, and they can tell you if you're approved or not. They do up to 7 passengers per booking. So if you have more than 7 people that you're traveling with, you'll have to call them directly. But again, it's a pretty decent payment plan, and then it's an option. But it's only available on round trip, not on one ways, and the Cheap Air is. So that's my answer. I would first and foremost recommend the putting away the money, disciplining, a little bit before you're going to go, and have it paid off before you go. If you have the credit card, and if you have points, that's always a plus too, if you know you're going to pay off the credit card before you go so that you're not in debt. But if those aren't options, these are 2 additional options. So I hope that gives you some information. It definitely answered my friend's question, but hopefully it also gives you some information to be helpful. Cool. See you later. Bye.